backup quarterback. And look, I didn't put Kyle Allen as a lock. I probably, after the second preseason game in a row of a near perfect pass rating, maybe that's the direction it should be going.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle's looked great, man. I think Justin and I were sitting together at the game, and we realized the stats from the last, 2 games, and it was something ridiculous, a ridiculous completion percentage, 4 touchdown passes, 0 picks, 244 yards. So he's been incredible, and I think that's, as close to a lock as you can say at this point, just based on, they like guys that know the offense. If they bring in someone else from another team, that would take some time to get that player up to speed. And Kyle has really shown them no reason not to go with him at this point, not to have him on the roster. So close to a lock as possible, but I understand why he's not in that lock category, because I think Justin and we decided to kind of keep that for the true key. The St. Browns.
Like the starters in week 1.
Exactly. But it's certainly, he's inching closer to that. And, he's done nothing to kind of, change our opinion there.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to describe his chances of making the roster are to consider what kind of catastrophic collapse it would take for them to pivot Allen to QB3, and what kind of meteoric rise it would take for Allen to launch him and become QB2. Allen has been perfect in a lot of ways as QB2 throughout training camp. The dilemma for the Lions is that they're seeing in Hooker, and we've talked about this, guys, a pretty good quarterback at practice. He made a lot happen in Tuesday scrimmage, for example, including a touchdown against the first team defense on a drive that did start in the red zone, to be fair. But then they see a different version of this quarterback in games who looks either overwhelmed or, I don't want to say unprepared, but ill-equipped to handle the heat that he encounters. But I'll take you back to Tuesday in a scrimmage that started pretty slowly for the offense. Their first positive drive was led by Hendon Hooker, capped off with a perfect throw where he kind of sidestepped the pass rusher and delivered this 20-yard dart in stride to Tesla just past a DB's arm. And then later in the red zone, he leads a drive with the second team offense against mostly the first team defense. And he caps off with a strike on a slant to, I think, Keeney James with Meek Robinson in coverage. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is exactly why they drafted him in the 3rd round 2 years ago. And then you see it again when he uses his legs. And it's also why I have trouble doubting the fact that if they cut him, he wouldn't be picked up by another team. Look, the Lions, wrong or right, put a ton of stock into what they see on the practice field in a setting that is probably as competitive as any training camp in the NFL. And they also put a lot of stock, wrong or right, into 3rd round picks from 2 years ago. And, where they can cut Broderick Martin and comfortably assume that no one's going to claim him, I think that they would lose Hendon Hooker. And, dude, honestly, maybe that's for the best. Maybe they'll be freed from agonizing over what he can or can't be. I just don't see them cutting ties with him a year after what's essentially his rookie season, given the actual growth that we've seen and that, more importantly, they've seen in practice. For the record, I would. I would cut Hendon Hooker because I don't think a roster that is built to win right now this season should be prioritizing a spot for a developmental QB3 when it might cost you a player with a greater chance to contribute this season. But I'm not the one making the calls. That's a good thing. But that's just my take on it.
Will's already cut a guy. That's good. And he jumped to defensive tackle, and so he cut 2 guys,
that's
I think.
What I would do. I think he'll be on the roster. I want to be clear about that. I just, for my own 2 cents, would not keep him.
Oh, I guess that's maybe a conversation we should have had before we did this. We're doing the projection of what we want or what we think should happen or what the Lions will do, Will?
I think the more sensible conversation for the audience is what we think the Lions will do, what we think this roster looks like next Tuesday, because who really gives a shit what we think it should be? It's what the Lions think it should be.
So the conversation obviously is, I think we're all giving 3 thumbs up to the Allen situation now. This is not whatever year they cut down to one quarterback because Tim Boyle and David Blau were so bad that they just had to start from scratch before week 1. Like, Allen is the answer they were looking for. So